Hello, today I want to reverse engineer a windshield bracket on my erector set. I only have one and I need one for the other side back here. So I'm going to recreate this and reverse engineer it. So I took a photo of it and I'm going to paste this photo into Onshape and then trace it and build and reverse engineer this part. So let's get started. All right, I'm on Onshape and I'm using my free subscription. Let's go to Create, Document. All right, I'm going to start on the top view and I'm going to create a sketch. I'm going to click here, drag this in first, but I'm going to create a sketch on the top and then I'm going to insert that picture. Import, and let's open that. Now we have the image here. We're going to click on it and we're going to click on this here and we're going to pull it out and just left click anywhere. So right now we need to scale this. So we're going to choose 2 points, or we can create a line. I can just create a point here and a point here. And then I can do a D for dimension here to here. And it is 19.10 millimeters long. So it just rescaled it for me. Next, we will trace it out. So let's go create a line. And we'll create 2 vertical lines. L to get in, L to get out of those. Looks like the camera angle is just slightly skewed. You can see this is perfectly vertical, but the image itself is not. So I didn't take a perfect picture, but anyway, we can get rolling with this either way. So I'm going to click on this 3-point arc, click there, and match that up to the best of the ability. And then here I want to click that, and I want to make that tangent. Also, I can do the same here. Here, it's actually already tangent, so we're good. Or is it? No, I don't think it was. Show constraints. Okay, it is not tangent. Neither is that, but this one here it is. Okay, we're good. All right, so now let's create the circle right here. So I'm going to say that is 10.2 millimeters. Actually, yeah, we can click on D and 10.20, okay? And if we get out of that circle, out of this dimension 2, we can click on this and drag it around a little bit, but I'm just going to match it up to the best I think it is. This here I'm going to leave alone. I'm going to extrude this on another sketch, but I'm going to keep this the same, and I'm going to flatten that edge right there on the very top. So where I think it is ending there, I'm going to do that, okay? I'm going to hit this 3-point arc. So we're going to go create an arc from here to here and just kind of match that up. Then we'll change that to 5. Okay. Make it nice numbers, nice even numbers. And we're going to change that to 5 also. Okay. Green check. Now we're done with that first sketch. Now we're going to extrude that. So let's go to extrude. And we're going to grab this face right here, this sketch. We can do a solid new, and we're going to make this. It is 2.35 millimeters thick. Green check. All right, for some reason it just extruded the start. I'm going to go back and show that sketch. Is it? Oh, something's broken inside of there. So let's go back in that sketch. What is broken? Aha, this is broken. That's why it's not doing it. So let's fix that. Let's push this to here. So we're going to make that coincident. And then we'll make these tangent. That'll make it look smoother. Okay, and that one looks pretty good. All right, so that was the issue, why it was not extruding that properly. So let's click extrude again, click that guy right there, that 2.35 millimeters, green check. Okay, so we got our general shape now. We're gonna hide a couple of these planes, hitting Y to hide them. All right, so now that we get that first shape done, let's create a sketch on this top surface now. So we're gonna click there, we're gonna flatten this, hit top, and now we can start sketching this out. So I'm just going to go with this shape right here, and then this shape right here. We'll extrude those and we'll put some draft on it. Okay, so let's do that. Let's go click on there, and since I am slightly skewed, I'll keep it like that. So here to here, and I'm going to go up to that. We can go past it if we want. M for trim, and then we're going to hover over these and cut them off. Okay, and we should have used the project command first. Let's undo that. Control Z to undo, or you can do this back undo right there. So let's do this project. We're going to project that first line onto this new sketch. Okay, there we go. M for trim now, and we can trim these and then those stick. So we can trim that too. Okay, so now we have this basic shape, and let's create this one right here. So this one, I'm going to measure it real quick. The total height of that is 7.65 millimeters. So I like to keep this bottom one here. So 7.65, yeah, really good. That was a good guess. Anyway, so now we will extrude these two shapes, green check, and we can add that dart a little after. So the thickness of the piece was 2.35, and we'll do that. The total width of this, the height of this to the very back of this is 7.07. So we won't do the math ourselves. We'll let the software do the math, and we will go with the extrude. We're going to click on this guy and that guy. We're just going to round up to 7 minus the 2.35. Okay, green check. So it built it to the height that it should be. And now we're going to add some drafts to the top surface, or we can add a chamfer. Chamfer might be easier because we can modify this really nice and quickly. So let's click on that top edge, this one, and this one. Let's go top view, and let's look and see how much it curves inboard, and we want to match this curve right here. So we're going to go with like, let's go with 2. Yep, I think 2 is perfect, actually. Perfect. All right, that's good enough. So now we can see we got that curved edge. But we have to go all the way down. So let's redo that. Chamfer. And we are going to go with chamfer of 2, and then the second one, 2 distances. So the first one's going to be 2, and the second one's going to be, I think it's 5 millimeters. Okay, green check. And let's go to top view. Let's take a look and see how that fits. Looks like we're a little goofed right here, but that's probably because this is slightly twisted on one side. Remember, this thickness was a little odd. So I think this should be just fine. We'll add this little dart right here to it. So let's create that little shape right now. So we're going to go top. We're going to create one more sketch on that right there. So sketch, and we're going to sketch on top of here. We're going to just trace out this shape right here, just a square, and we can use that right there. So we'll kind of just match it up. And I want to hit D for dimension here to here, and I just want to make it a little bit smaller. So let's like 2.5, and then I'll move this wall over. Get out of that. Let's move this wall. There we go. And then we can move that wall a little bit. If we want, we can put a dimension on there too, if you feel like you need to. We really don't have to. There we go. 3.3 sounds fine. All right, green check. So now we can do an extrude of that guy right there. We're going to extrude him, grab that. We're going to take it up that, we could actually just say we want to take it up to a face and that face right there. So it snaps it to that. It automatically unioned it, which is okay. So now I'm going to draft this area and this area, or we can use that chamfer function again. So let's use chamfer. Let's grab this top edge, that top edge. And now we have to change these quite a bit. So let's do like 0.5. And let's go top view. Let's see how that looks. Let's, I'm going to actually hold the piece up. Yeah, it's, I can go a little bit deeper than that. Let's go 0.8. Yeah, I think that's good. Green check. All right. And let's add the fillet now. We're going to uncheck this tangent propagation and just click on these edges right here. We can see the preview. So there we go, green check. All right, so now we want to add that chamfer to this edge. And we're gonna go with like 2 millimeters. Or actually, I think it was 3.2 and by 5. Okay, green check, and then we can go through and we can add a fillet to that only right there. Okay, and now let's add fillet down this edge. Change that to like 0.4. Green check. There we go. Okay, looks pretty good. Now we need, there's a hole that goes through there, and that's what allows the rod for the windshield to go through. So let's create that hole, and that I will measure the hole size, 5mm hole. So let's go to the very top here. We're going to hide this guy. Click on that, click Y for hide. Now we're going to click on our back view, and we're going to create a sketch on this surface right here. We're going to go with the center point circle, and we're going to try to find the center of this. So to do that, I'm going to just create a line here to here. Okay, and then L to get out. Then I can make this a construction line, and then I'll do, let me click on this line and go over here to construction. That way it's not extruded out. And let's hit M. I want to trim that off right there. So I want to find the true center of this. So, okay. Now that circle, we can click there, find that where it kind of changes. See the little midpoint thing on the bottom right? Yeah, we want to see that. So we click there. We're going to hover in here. And I think I said 5mm. Yep. Always better to double check. And if we think our plastic is going to shrink a tiny bit, we may want to up this to a different number. So let's double click. I hit escape to get out of that. Let's double click to get there. 5.15 sounds good. So I know it might shrink, and I want my rod, to be inserted easily. All right, and I'm going to take that down quite a bit actually. So let's finish this sketch. Let's do an extrude and grab that right there. We're going to do a remove, and we want to take it. We don't want to take it all the way through. We just kind of want to take it down, probably about right there. Let me check that depth with my calipers if I can. And that depth is 15.6. Awesome. It actually, I nearly had it right there. 15.6, perfect. The back side, they actually have a small little rib on the back side. What they did, okay, they just took it down through here like this. So let me pull up that picture and show you what they did. So they took that hole all the way through, and it's actually through down here. So that's what I'll do. I will go back to my sketch and back. Let's put two lines down here. So we're going to click right there, straight down. L to get out of that, L to start again. Click down there, straight down. Then we can connect these two. They don't have to be perfect. M, we want to do a trim now. We're trimming that guy, we're trimming that guy. And we can fix this by get out of that guy. Let's go with tangent. So this guy to this guy, tangent. And then these two, tangent. Perfect, green check. And that took it out. Okay, perfect. So now our rod will fit inside of there, and it will slide out. But because we're going to put in this rod holder bracket thing in the back, get a dimension of it, 4.6mm. So I'm going to create a sketch on this back surface right here. I'm going to click on bottom. Okay, flipped it. So we're going to go from here to here, D for dimension. We're going to go from here to here, and it's going to be that 4.6mm. And then the total width of this guy is 6.4. Okay, green check, done there. Now we can extrude those, and the total height of this guy is 1.5mm. So let's click here, here, and 1.5. It's automatically adding it, and I typed in 1.5, but it didn't take. So 1.5 here, green check, and we actually want it to go all the way across. So let's go back to extrude. We're going to click on this middle region right here, green check, and now we got that middle region included too. When I look at this, I notice there's a radius on the back side. So I'm going to include that radius. And what was this radius? We'll just kind of hover over it and measure that. And that is a 2.57 radius. So we'll make it 2.5 radius on the inside right here. Let's go fillet right there. And right here, we're going to go with 2.5. it looks like it's having an issue. I'm going to uncheck tangent propagation. I don't want it to do everything like it's showing. Hold down shift, unselect that guy. That's exact. I only want to do 2 edges. Green check. Perfect. There is one small hole on the very bottom here, and that hole is kind of like an alignment hole. So let's click on bottom. We're going to create a circle, but first we're going to create a sketch on this back surface right here. We're going to create a circle, and that circle size, let me double check my calipers here. It is 9.5. So we're going to click there. We're going to hover over this 9.5 millimeters. We're going to project this bottom line onto this new sketch. So we're going to go over here to use, click that right there. So now that creates a new point right here. So we can go with the distance. We can click on this guy, and then we should find a distance of what they're out. So now I can click 0. And then the distance of this to this, now we can do this, 28.5 millimeters. Okay, green check. So now we can pull this up. So let's go to extrude. I'm going to grab that guy right there, and we're going to extrude this 1.5, enter. It's going to do a solid add to part 1, merge with part 1, which is great. Green check. And let's put a little fillet on the edge of that. So fillet, this guy right here with like 0.5. Green check. I'm going to add a fillet to some fillets to this edge. That's pretty much it. So fillet on this guy and fillet on this guy. Let's pull in that picture. I'll show you what those fillets. So we can see this rounded edge right here, rounded, and then we see this curved rounded edge right here. So we're going to do those. So let's create a fillet. Click there and there. We can actually continue that fillet and then do this side. Looks great. They actually have, looks like they got a fillet on the bottom here too. I don't want to fillet on that edge right there. That looks goofy. So let's let's hold down shift and unselect that guy. First, I'll just do this one fillet, and then I'll put in another fillet, and then hopefully finish that guy right there. Yep, perfect. Okay, so that looks good. Now we'll continue to put a fillet down here, fillet there, and we'll look around this. Yeah, it looks like there's fillets. This is probably for injection molding purposes, but I can add it too. No problem. All right, green check. And looks like we're done. Most likely what I will do is I will 3D print this and make it nearly solid. I'm going to put like 3 or 4 layer lines on it. So first let's get it out. So we're going to left click, right click, and export. And we're going to name this windshield part. We're going to open up my slicing software. All right, I get my slicing software open now. And this is not the best way to print it because we have this huge overhang on the very bottom. So let's choose a different face. Maybe I'm going to choose this face. Let's take a look and see if that's good. So hit F to get the face, and then it snaps it to there. So let's see. So it's got an overhang here. We don't like that. So this is not really the easiest to print. It doesn't really have any structural needs. I mean, it holds up a piece of wire and it's more decorative. Best way to print this, I think. That might print okay. It's going to have some difficulties with this edge right here. What if I rotate this slightly? Like, rotate it like that, sitting on the sharp edge right there. Just slice, see what it looks like. Now, yeah, there's a small issue there. Some overhangs right there. But overall, I think it's not terrible. That might print okay. So let me add some brims and support on the bottom of this guy right here. Let's do that. Let's add global. Like I said, I'm going to add lots of layers, I don't want this see-through. I'm going to do 3, 3, 3. There we go. And then 15% infill. And then we want a auto brim. Let's see what it looks like with auto brim. And let's see what supports look like. Enable supports. Green, or not green check. Enable supports, and then, yep. Ooh. I only want supports on that bottom edge right there. I don't really need it there. So I'm going to undo that. I'm going to go with normal manual. And in this case, I'm going to go back to prepare. I'm going to add the edge, which I want to add my color on. So it's going to be this edge right here. So let's go paint a support. So we're supporting right here. Right here. See how well I can get a straight line going. Tree manual. Let's see what happens with tree manual. Definitely got support, which is great. All right, we'll give this a try and we'll see what this looks like. Let's print this out like this and see if we need to make any fine adjustments or how we will print this a little better. I have the 3D printed part right here. I'm going to take out. It just popped right off. So let's take a look at this. We got some things we got to clean up here. Everything else looks really good. I must have doubled the thickness somehow. And there's a lot of stringing going on inside of there. That's kind of goofy there. Besides the thickness, I would say nearly identical. I'll fix the thickness and reprint. So I 3D printed these parts again. And let's take a look at these two pieces there. You can see a little bit differences. One's wider than the other one. Let's take a look at the left view right here. That looks good. Back view. Really nice. Only thing we really can't see is the ejector pin marks. And finally, we'll look at this side, which is the same as the other. I'm impressed. I think that's a go. They're strong. Let's see if it works. Let's see if it functions for the application. So here's one of the rods. Slide it in. Fits in there. Not super snug. And this one's not even that snug either. So it just slides right in and out. So it's the same as the original. If we want it more snug, we can tighten up the radius on there and make it smaller. So that's our 3D printed part and our injection molded part. Thanks for watching.